So the fireside chat is going to be on impacting investing and role of philanthropists in driving inclusion and accelerating innovation. The session will be moderated, of course, by yours truly, Zekarias Amsalu, co-founder Africa FinTech Summit and managing director Ibex Frontiers. And he'll be having this chat with Dr. Effiong Essien, who is the program director of PIND. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for them as they come on stage.
Until the seating is sorted out, I will give you what will be a highlight of what we'll be discussing in this fireside chat. So across Africa, impact investing and philanthropic capital are unlocking opportunities, especially where the private capital is not yet ready to do risk capital. So this panel will explore how philanthropic funding and the impact-focused funders and investors can work alongside with venture capital, institutional investors, to de-risk and crowd in the private sector, and also helping early-stage startups and also ventures to be prepared to intake private capital. So this fireside chat is going to be with Dr. Effiong Essien, the program director for PIND Foundation. PIND Foundation is an active foundation helping ecosystem founders and entrepreneurs in the Nigerian Delta here in Nigeria. And actually, they have brought 8 of their early stage startups and founders to be part of this ecosystem and FinTech Summit. Thank you very much, Dr. Effiong. Okay. So to start, Dr. Effiong, can you introduce yourself and what PIND Foundation does? What are some of the activities you're participating, please?
Yeah, it's a real pleasure to share this stage with you for the good work you're doing. And it's a privilege also to join innovators and developers of not just Nigeria, but Africa as a whole, and by so doing, adding momentum to the global efforts in development. So we started very small, and we started about 15 years ago. My name, you've rightly introduced, Effiong Essien, Programs Director of PIND. PIND is an acronym. It means Foundation for Partnership Initiatives in the Niger Delta. It started 15 years ago, funded by Chevron Corporations. So they had the idea and the vision that we should create an innovative program. And that initiative started 15 years ago, and they created 2 pillars of intervention, one in peace building and the other in economic development. So they were looking at market-led initiatives that would work in nexus with the belief that before you can drive investment into a region or community, you first of all have to stabilize the community and create safe places for businesses to invest, and also for community people to coexist with corporations. So that was the philosophy in founding PIND. So we've existed, and for the 15 years we've existed, we've catalyzed a lot of businesses, impacted millions of lives of people as private sector developers.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So can we drill down to some of the outcomes, especially you have youth and women empowerment projects that you've been carrying for the last 15 years. Can you tell us what are the outcomes? What are the results that you've achieved by using philanthropic capital in a private sector focused approach, please?
Excellent. I think the models we used, first of all, PIN looks at itself as a facilitator. So we're not market actors trying to compete with the market actors. So that gives us a very definitive position in helping understand the constraints impeding development. So we become market actors, private sector developers. And we have very specific lens in ensuring that we include, we're very inclusive. We have a percentage, 40% minimum, in ensuring that we intentionally look at women, people living with disability, and people who are normally considered not very fortunate. And those are normally people in the rural areas and so on. So we specifically have a tool in identifying these classes and groups of people and then provide intervention towards it. And I can say that Chevron alone has been a major funder, single donor. We've raised over $145 million for the period from that source alone. We've also been able to catalyze over $250 million into the development of Niger Delta. And we work with government also to ensure that we impact and influence policy of association, as we've been able to have here, and also representation of those groups of people. So that has helped us achieve, to your question, reaching over 1 million actors and beneficiaries who are effectively engaged into our programs, and majority of those are businesses, SMEs.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And this week you've brought 8 entrepreneurs to participate in this ecosystem. You've spent money to cover their travel costs and come here. Actually, one of them is participating in the pitch competition.
Absolutely.
So what is your intention when you are bringing your founders in the Nigerian Delta, connect them to the international ecosystem like the FinTech Summit here? What are you achieving, and what do you want as an outcome for the entrepreneurs who are coming here, and then maybe you're taking them to other programs in the future?
Absolutely. You know, our position, as I mentioned earlier, is to facilitate development and invest in the private sector. So we take that position. So we understand that the problem, one of the major constraints of Niger Delta and Nigeria as a whole, and perhaps Africa, is unemployment of youth. And we understand that the innovative space, technical space, would better be driven by this population of people, and also opening up and reducing the barriers to entry into the FinTech area, innovative areas, technological areas, is what we need to do to allow inclusiveness and as many people as possible who have the flair or appetite to go into that. So we reduce the entry barrier to allow as many people as possible to access that space. Our intention, to your question, is generally to create that ecosystem of FinTech leaders, digital leaders, creating entrepreneurs of young people who can drive employment and economic growth of our community. So it lies within that space for us to facilitate.
Fantastic. So my final question is that 5 years from now on, the 8 entrepreneurs you brought up here and also other entrepreneurs that you're supporting, what do you expect of them, or what do you think they will be achieving in 5 years? And your message to maybe philanthropic capital allocators, by working foundations like yourself, how can they impact actually the next solution makers, problem solvers, so that they will be ready to take private capital by derisking their growth?
Yes, absolutely. These few minutes won't allow us to go into the details, but I can tell you what we do and what we observe is we buy the risk. We allow these young minds to experiment with the ideas in their head, and we provide the resources for them to do that comfortably. We also take the risk of the first trial and failures as well to allow them do that. We provide resources for them to work and refine their prototypes, and also get them investment ready for future investors when the products and services are market ready. So that's what we do. But because they fall into just a single arm of our overall economic development intervention, which is youth employment pathway programs, what we see is with the provisions we make with the challenge funds, the seed funds we provide, linkages to other bigger ecosystem to help push them to the level that they can create a product in the market. So we do all that, and we see the results, because what is happening now is 65%, over 65% of people who go through our youth employment program in building that knowledge and infrastructure of that ecosystem end up starting their own business. So they are inadvertently becoming future employers of labor, so they're triggering that chain of employment, economic growth within the community. And that's what we like to see going forward.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Dr. Effiong. And we know that we're going to hear more from you. Tomorrow we have a panel about where is the money, not only necessarily the VC, but the DeFi, the foundation. So we're going to hear more about how private capital, development finance, and foundation can work together to unlock capital, to de-risk investors, early stage investors, so that they can not only grow, but also attract both domestic and foreign capital. So thank you so much for all the work what you do.
We look forward to the pitch from one of our past beneficiaries, and several of them are here. So this is a test of that investment, which we are very profoundly proud. And thanks for giving the stage for these young ones as well.
Thank you very much, Dr. Effiong. Very much appreciated.